Local or regional and our international viewers, thank you kindly for choosing us. A very warm welcome. It's Freedom Monday here on Conversations with Zelisa. I am Zelisa Rupani, humbly inviting you to sit back, relax, enjoy, absorb, get your pen, get your paper so you could take notes, and of course important numbers that will be helpful for you and your loved ones. It's Monday, the 5th of February, 2024. We're celebrating a birthday. Happy birthday. If it's your anniversary, happy anniversary to you and yours, that someone special. Let's quickly go to our quote for today, coming to us with the kind compliments of India in Style Expo. And our quote says, "You will never be good enough for everybody, but you will always be good enough for someone who really appreciates you." All right? That came to us with the kind compliments of India in Style Expo. Remember to check them out today. They are located at the Mid-Center Mall in Chagonas. It's the Indian in Style Expo. Check them out for great deals, food, and so much more. Wonderful gift items. Make it a family affair. Safe and secure parking. Let's say good morning to the management and staff of Charon's Bookstore, Docks Engineering Limited, Lifetime Solutions Limited, and Ballpark Chinese Restaurant. And of course, to the management and staff here is wishing you all a productive, fruitful, and great day today. It's Freedom Monday. Let's say a very good morning and a very warm welcome to Dr. Tiwari.
Hi, thank you, Zelisa. Good morning to all of you. So nice to be here again this Monday. And it's the, what can I say, the lead up to the Carnival, Monday and Tuesday, that great bacchanal of Trinidad and Tobago. And I've been very interested in the whole range of activities which now constitute Carnival. Besides the paniards and the basic things like panorama and the show in Skinner Park with all our Calypsonians and the major events in a couple of nights. There are a lot of things that are organized that are not just fetes that are built around the Carnival period. So I think Carnival is taking a different kind of shape as it evolves in Trinidad and Tobago. Notwithstanding that, there are still a lot of serious issues dogging us in the country. One of them is, of course, crime, which isn't going to go away anytime soon, I don't think. But it has to be managed. And the controversy over the police commissioner and her statements to the JSC and her whether she is fit to be a police commissioner and so on. You know, this is a country that spends a lot of time talking about what people say, and we do not focus too much on what people do. And it is important to understand that the judgments that we must make, that the judgments that we make must really be based on what is done rather than what only is said. What you say is important because it can have an effect on the entire tone and climate of things, and it can have an effect on confidence, but what you do is important. The crime situation here in Trinidad and Tobago, I would say, is largely out of hand. It is something that is not unique to Trinidad and Tobago, but it has been escalating here in Trinidad and Tobago. We did have a small drop in the crime figures and in the murder figures this year. Whether that will be sustained or whether it will go down is another matter. But I think we should pay attention to those things. The big problem in Trinidad and Tobago are, of course, the gangs and the fact that they can romp all over the country with impunity. And secondly, the corruption which facilitates this, which nobody wants to acknowledge or to touch. And thirdly, the power centers that facilitate this corrupt process that leads to gangsterism and intimidation of the citizen and fear across the citizenry in Trinidad and Tobago. Crime is serious business for the people involved in crime, and therefore it should be serious business for the people who deal with crime and whose business it is to deal with crime. That is all I would say at this point, but it remains a disturbing issue. I hope that the police and the army will be present and in full force, and that surveillance capability will be present, omnipresent, and I hope that the communication capacity of the, what can I say, the crime control system that is being established for Trinidad and Tobago for Carnival is functional and works and operational and responsive to anything that might happen in Carnival. The last thing we need is something bad to happen in Carnival in Trinidad and Tobago, which is one of the beautiful festivals in the world, and that you don't want to tarnish with criminality and fear and blood. So I would just say that to the authorities. The other issue that is very big in Trinidad and Tobago these days, and I know that the Prime Minister will have a press conference on Tuesday, is the issue of natural gas and our relations with Venezuela and the implications of the tension that has emerged between the Maduro government in Venezuela and the State Department in the United States, and therefore the U.S. Department, the U.S. Government. That is a big issue because within the framework of that issue is Trinidad and Tobago's attempt to mine natural gas from the Dragon Field and the Manatee Field in Venezuela. The Dragon is in Venezuelan waters. Manatee is partially in Trinidad and Tobago waters. But the question is, if Maduro continues to misbehave, lock up his opponents, threaten to take over 2/3 of Guyana's territory, repress his people, use the army and the legislature in order to simply get his way and avoid any kind of evolution of the democratic process and free and fair elections. Whether in that situation, on the imposition of sanctions from the United States, Trinidad and Tobago's fortunes are going to be affected because it would interfere with the license that we have to mine gas in Venezuela. So far, the critics have been saying the Dragon deal is off because American sanctions will impede Trinidad and Tobago's capacity to benefit from it. And of course, the Prime Minister and the Minister of Energy are saying that in a fundamental way, the contract they have is not going to be affected by it. In a sense, it is exempt. And I feel that there's a problem with the argument and contestation over these things. The first thing I want to say is that I find that the criticism that takes place over these things are very, what can I say, undermining of national interest. That is to say, the natural gas, whatever we get, is going to belong to all of us, and it has to do with the future of Trinidad and Tobago. And I think we should be a little more cautious and judicious in the way we deal with criticism. I am all for free speech, and I would always stand up for it. But, I mean, free speech demands some responsibility. So I think it is important to handle this in a way that serves the national interest, the interest of Trinidad and Tobago and its people. The second thing I would say is that the government has a big failure on this particular question, which it must move to correct. It is giving bits and pieces of information and arguing about whether we're going to get dragon or don't have dragon, whether we have the rights or don't have the rights. As far as I'm concerned, if you're a government, all of that is foolishness. What you need to do is to explain to the population what is it exactly you have signed with the United States, so people understand what the facts are. And secondly, you need to explain what you have signed with Venezuela, so people know what the facts are. You have exposed yourself in a situation where the opposition has had to take information provided, I would say, transparently in Venezuela by the Venezuelan government in the Gazette there, and bring the matter to Trinidad and Tobago in a controversial matter, which simply adds to the confusion. And Trinidad and Tobago is a place that does not need any more confusion. We have enough. We manufacture that for a living. Trinidad and Tobago is a place of endless confusion. You could hardly get clarity in this place. And I think the government has done itself, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, a disservice. And I hope when the Prime Minister comes Tuesday, he will not come for politics, but come as the Prime Minister and explain to the country, this is what we signed with the United States of America and its agencies, and this is what it means in the context of sanctions or any impositions of U.S. will on Venezuela. That's the first thing. And secondly, he must indicate this is what we signed with Venezuela, and these are the implications of what we have signed. If there are non-disclosure clauses, he must explain to the population what are those non-disclosure clauses about. He must say that the non-disclosure clause is about so and so and so and so and so and so. This is what it covers. And the reason they are covered by non-disclosure clauses is because of so and so. I mean, I am fed up of living in a country in which governments cannot manage. Opposition simply is oppositionists. People simply speak on the basis of half or part of the information, and at the end of the day you have no clarity, you have no precision. At the end of the day, all you have is more confusion and more opportunity for misinformation and disinformation. I think in this particular instance, You can't blame the opposition for trying to prove to the country that the government has been less than transparent in its dealings with the country. That is what an opposition does. And you can't blame commentators for speculating that the Dragon deal will fall when you have a situation that is almost on the brink of the tensions of war. So, I mean, the government needs to take that into account and deal with the population honestly and forthrightly. And I would urge the Prime Minister on Tuesday, when he comes, to give us the facts on the arrangements with the U.S., give us the facts on the arrangements with Venezuela, and give us the facts on the non-disclosure clauses and why. We have a wonderful guest this morning. I'm going to introduce her when we come back. And we are going to be talking about food self-sustainability in Trinidad and Tobago and the region. And we will be right back.
Thank you, Dr. Tiwari. What a strong and powerful opening. Our program, Freedom Monday, comes to us with the kind compliments of Charon's Bookstores, Doc's Engineering Works Limited, Lifetime Solution Limited, and Ballpark Chinese Restaurant. Let's go to these important messages. When we return, we continue the conversation on Freedom Monday with Dr. Bo Tiwari.
Looking for the best in educational supplies? Then come on down to Charon's Bookstore, the trusted name in everything back to school, from uniforms, textbooks, school accessories, stationery, and much more. Our dedicated team is committed in providing the highest quality in customer service. Visit us at number 53 Eastern Main Road, Tunapuna, Trin City Mall, Trin City, number 24 Eastern Main Road, San Juan, and number 10 Diego Martin, 4 Roads, Diego Martin. Call us at 235-5811.
Are you ready to own your own home? But worried about time, money, and construction? We handle it all. With Docs, you can sleep in your dream. Make a down payment of $100K or $150K and we'll build a 2 or 3 bedroom home on your unused land. A home is an investment into your future, so let's help you invest wise, invest well. Payment plans available. We're only a call away.
Ballpark Chinese Restaurant. Experience the flavors of authentic Chinese cuisine for a romantic night out or a family dinner. Our newly renovated cozy atmosphere and professional friendly service makes dining with us an unforgettable experience. We have a well-equipped conference room that caters for meetings and corporate events for up to 50 persons. Safe and secure parking. Ballpark Chinese Restaurant. Open every day including Sundays and holidays. Book your table today. Give us a call 645-5474 662-4540.
Lifetime Solutions, manufacturer of metal roofing, panels, framing, guttering, and related products. Located lot number 26, Omera Industrial Estate in Arima. Give us a call 646-5813 for further information. Lifetime Solutions. Give us a call today.
Every word, every line, every paragraph depicts a real moment in someone's life. A father, a sister, a mother, a brother. We at Newsday are dedicated to you, the people, and through independent, unwavering journalism, strive to always bring your stories to life. Because your stories are more than just words. Newsday, independent and credible.
Super quality supermarket. Best quality and great prices. Get your fresh fruits, vegetables and meats. It's a one-stop shop for the most affordable groceries, baby items, kitchen supplies, bathroom accessories, car care supplies, pet food, toys and lots more, all at Super Quality Supermarket. Wide aisles, fully air-conditioned and secured parking. 3 locations nationwide: Couva Car Park, Couva, 98 Endeavour Road, Chaguanas, and 47 Tissue Drive, Trin-City. Super Quality Supermarket.
Welcome back. Thanks for choosing us. It's Freedom Monday on Conversations with Zelisa, a program this morning coming to us with the kind compliments of Child's Bookstores, Doc's Engineering Works Limited, Lifetime Solution Limited, and Valpark Chinese Restaurant. Let's say good morning again to Dr. Tiwari. Welcome back, Doc.
Thank you very much, Zelisa. I'm glad to be back. This is Freedom Monday. I am Bo Tiwari. And my guest this morning is Dr. Rebecca Gokul Boslan. What is she a doctor in? She is a PhD in economics from the University of the West Indies. She is now leading the thrust at Atlantic LNG Foundation for the creation and support of startups and small businesses. But in addition to that, she is a researcher, she is a writer. She has written books. I have collaborated on books in which she has been a partner. So has people like Dr. Roger Hussein and Dr. Anthony Gonzalez. And more than that, she used to lecture at the University of the West Indies in the economics department. She's a very knowledgeable person, a very bright woman. And she is also engaged in a lot of activities that are focused on community. Now, I told you about her job in Atlantic LNG. We won't get into that, but you can tell from what I described that in trying to get people to start up businesses and to help them to start and to begin to grow a business, that is something that is very valuable in this society. But she also leads, she is the chairman of a foundation called the Shore Foundation. I can't remember what the S-U-R-E stands for, but she will tell us. The Shore Foundation, which focuses on the distribution of plants and the planting of trees in Trinidad and Tobago. So it is focused on food self-sustainability and on environmental friendly issues. So I want to welcome now Dr. Rebecca Gokul Boslan so that we can have a conversation. Did I get it?
Good morning, Dr.
Did I get it right, Rebecca?
Mostly, just a little correct you. LEND, which is the organization that I currently work with, is separate and apart from Atlantic.
Okay.
It is part of their social and entrepreneurial responsibility to the community, but it is separate from Atlantic.
Yeah,
so I just want to make that correct.
Okay, but they support it, right?
Yes, they are our primary.
It's like a social responsibility
Correct.
foundation created out of Atlantic profits, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So they have been focused on building non-energy businesses in their host community. So LEND is the NGO that was set up specifically to do that.
All right. Okay.
Awesome.
Speak a little closer to the microphone so that we can hear you. And I must say you look lovely this morning. Thank you for being on my program. So tell me something. Yeah. Tell me what SURE stands for. S-U-R-E. First of all.
Okay, so the SURE Foundation, SURE is an acronym that stands for Sustainable Unemployment Reduction Efforts. this foundation was established in 2013. I'm getting a little feedback.
Feedback, okay.
Is it clear there?
Very clear.
I'm hearing you clearly, yes.
Awesome. Okay, so in 2013, when the foundation was formed, one of the things that we realized at the time, we were at the university in our various academic courses, writing, doing a lot of the groundwork in terms of development. We noticed that there was a gap in terms of actual implementation on the ground, specifically in the area of social and environmental interventions. So the Shaw Foundation was targeted and was created to be able to target on the ground activities as it relates to social and environmental development. Our current focus has been since 2020 on food security, as you rightly pointed out. Food security with the added benefit of focusing on the environmental impact of greening and increasing the greening from the household level to the national level, and moving forward.
Yes, and you have been very successful in this. I know you keep tabs on this. How many plants over the period 2020 when you started to now have you distributed in Trinidad and Tobago? And these are plants that can yield food or culinary support, because some of them might be just condiment type things that you grow. But how many plants have you distributed in Trinidad and Tobago?
So our focus has been on vegetables and seasonings. We started, as I said, in 2020, and that came out of the increasing demand for food support during the COVID-19 pandemic. To date, we have distributed 4 million seedlings across Trinidad and Tobago, and we are aiming in 2024 to reach our foundation target of 5 million.
Okay. Go ahead.
So last year we would have adjusted our focus a little bit to add on fruit trees to the way in which we distribute and interact with the environment, because fruit trees have the added benefit of drawing carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere for a longer period of time as compared to short crops. So we've also been distributing fruit trees, and to date we are just about 10,000 fruit trees across the nation.
Well, fruit trees have an additional benefit. You know, there's a problem of bees all over the world, and
Yes.
fruit trees also help with that. And
Correct.
and bees are critical for pollination, and you know that is also an important factor. So your target is 5 million seedlings that you are going to distribute. You've crossed 4 million. How many people do you think that you have hit, so to speak, have touched by your activities from 2021 to now, which is about 3 years? From 2020 to now.
I would say we have touched about 200,000 households in general, because what we do in terms of our distribution, we distribute what is called kitchen garden starter kits. So it's about 25 to 30 seedlings, 5 varieties that we distribute to the public in our distribution. So our households get seedlings that are easily transplantable, can even be done in a bucket. So it's not onerous on them as a matter of getting accustomed to using some of the old growing methods that they would have grown up with.
Yes. Now, tell me, what is the impact if I have a household of planting 4 bygone plants, 4 pak choy plants, 2 pepper plants, bandania, celery, lettuce, karaili, you have what you call that vine, that plant that
Bodhi?
no, well, you have bodhi, things like that. What is the consequence of having 4 plants of each type of vegetable, and you have like 12 vegetables and maybe 3 or 4 condiments that you plant, about 15 or 16 little clusters of plants, not a large. What is the impact of that on a household?
It's very positive, Dr. Tiwari. So let's take one vegetable and we can blow it up in terms of the model. So let's take one vegetable, pak choy, for example. So you put in a head of pak choy on your bed, and that gives you, after about 6 weeks.
Rebecca, because
Yes?
of time, we're going to have to break at this point. But I want you to
Sure.
come back and answer and focus on that particular question, because it
Sure.
has so many implications for the household, not just economic, but other
Agreed.
things. And I want to talk about that a little bit. So thank you. Audience, we will be right back wherever you are listening in the world. And we thank you for staying with us. We'll take a break now. Over to Zelisa.
Thank you, Dr. Tiwari. And of course, our program coming to us with the kind compliment Sharon's Bookstores, Lifetime Solutions Limited, Docs Engineering Works Limited, and Valpark Chinese Restaurant. Let's go to these important messages.
Looking for the best in educational supplies? Then come on down to Charon's Bookstore, the trusted name in everything back to school, from uniforms, textbooks, school accessories, stationery, and much more. Our dedicated team is committed in providing the highest quality in customer service. Visit us at number 53 Eastern Main Road, Tunapuna, Train City Mall, Train City, number 24 Eastern Main Road, San Juan, and number 10 Diego Martin, 4 Roads, Diego Martin. Call us at 235-5811.
Are you ready to own your own home? But worried about time, money, and construction? We handle it all. With Docs, you can sleep in your dream. Make a down payment of $100K or $150K and we'll build a 2 or 3 bedroom home on your unused land. A home is an investment into your future, so let's help you invest wise, invest well. Payment plans available. We're only a call away.
Valpark Chinese Restaurant. Experience the flavors of authentic Chinese cuisine for a romantic night out or a family dinner. Our newly renovated cozy atmosphere and professional friendly service makes dining with us an unforgettable experience. We have a well-equipped conference room that caters for meetings and corporate events for up to 50 persons. Safe and secure parking. Valpark Chinese Restaurant. Open every day including Sundays and holidays. Book your table today. Give us a call 645-5474 662-4540.
Lifetime Solutions, manufacturer of metal roofing, panels, framing, guttering, and related products. Located lot number 26, Omera Industrial Estate in Arima. Give us a call 646-5813 for further information. Lifetime Solutions. Give us a call today.
Ducky's Tent Rental. We're all about the best tents, high quality, with the best service at affordable prices. We'll make your event a memorable one. Located at Katwaru Trace, Penal, or give us a call 788-2262. Ducky's Tent Rental.
After huge success in Mokoya, La Romaine and South Park Mall, for the first time ever, Indian Style Expo will be at the air-conditioned Dome at Mid-Center Mall from January 6th. Over 60 merchants. Get all that you need: garments, furniture, handicraft, footwear, jewelry and so much more. For the first time ever in Trinidad, be sure to check out our $20 food court. Yes, you heard right, but that's not all. When you spend over $200, you also get a free meal. Bring your kids to the arcade while you shop. The India Style Expo at the air-conditioned Dome, Mid-Center Mall, starting on January 6th from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily, including weekends and holidays.
Welcome back to Conversations with Zelisa. It's Freedom Monday with Dr. Bo Tiwari. And of course, our program coming to us with the kind compliments of India in Style Expo, Charon's Bookstores, Docs Engineering Limited, Lifetime Solutions Limited, and Ballpark Chinese Restaurant. Doc, it's back to you.
Thank you very much, Zelisa. Thank you for staying with us. We really appreciate it. And we are talking about a serious issue, which is food self-sufficiency and sensitivity to the environment, which has to do with food security as a big issue. It is a problem throughout the Caribbean. We're going to talk about that a little bit. But I had asked Rebecca, Dr. Gokul Baslan before a simple question, but a question whose answer requires a little complexity in understanding the connectivities of things. And that has to do with this. If you have 4 vegetable plants of each type of vegetable that you like or prefer, and let's say you have 12 different vegetables and 3 or 4 condiment type things, including pepper, what would that mean for a household? And she was answering before we broke, and we give her the time to talk now.
Sure. So hi, Dr. Tiwari.
Yeah.
So let's get back into your example. So assuming that the output from one tree, whether that is pepper or karaili or okra or whatever vegetable you like, in one picking after 4 to 6 weeks, let us assume a conservative cost in terms of
looking after
not having to buy, having to buy it at the market. Let's say from each one of those trees, you save $10. Very conservative.
Yeah.
$10 by 12 varieties is $120.
Right.
Right? Now that's what you're saving. If we also assume that the tree or the seasoning continues to bear, then it means that you get various iterations over a given period.
Yes.
Let's assume that overall we get 5 pickings from the four melon trees, for example. This gives us average savings of about $600 on a monthly basis that is not being spent at the market. In addition to this, the benefit also comes from looking after the plants. We know at the household level it's going to be generally organic. There is going to have an element of an environmental focus where you get the kids involved in watering the plants. So there is a multiplicity of benefits that comes from a kitchen garden or rebuilding the culture of agriculture with a kitchen garden.
Yes. Well, people forget that agriculture, the second part of that is culture, which is a very important thing. There's a nurturing process that
Yes.
takes place there. And so it does something to the home, it does something to the individual. It makes a connection with nature that you could not easily find elsewhere. And if you have children growing up in the home and they see these plants grow and they see the plants bear and they get to pick the plants, pick the fruit, and they then have this fruit on the table, have this
Yes.
food on the table, it makes a big difference. I know I get a lot of pleasure from that, the fact that if we grow things at home and they then find their way to the table, I find I enjoy it more because it might be a difference in taste because of how it's cultivated with very few chemicals and so on. But more than that, it's the satisfaction of knowing that these things were grown in your own backyard. So
Correct.
the kind of money you're talking about there, $120, $600 from one single plant over a month.
Savings for the
You're
month on
talking
average.
about significant savings really, because you know $600 of savings a month is over $6,000 a year, which is no mean achievement in terms of savings. So that's why I use the word self-sustainability rather than security. When we talk about food security, we talk about the bigger thing, food
macro.
availability, access to food, the distribution, the fact that you receive it, all those things. But when you talk about food sustainability, food self-sustainability, you're really talking about how you can use your home. And you don't even have to have a backyard. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
You can have cans,
Buckets.
you can have
Yeah.
buckets, you can have pots, you can make little sections with pieces of board in which you turn it into a grow box. And
Correct.
out of that, you can produce the food. Now, what is the value of this economically if you are doing this on a sustained basis? You say you've touched about 200,000 households.
Yeah.
Let's be modest in our estimation, or maybe you have exact figures. Let's say out of those 200,000 households, 20,000 households actually have a kitchen garden. What is the meaning of that?
In terms of money, and
In
you
ter-
just did
in
the
terms of
basis
money,
calculation.
Yeah, in terms
Yeah,
of
in
money,
terms of real value,
yeah,
it's 6,000 multiplied by 20,000,
20.
and that's a very meager estimation. So
Yes,
that is, in terms of generated value, more than $1.2 million in a year.
yes,
In terms of real savings,
yes, and then you multiply. If people really do it, and you have 200,000 in a country, which is about what 1/8 or something of the population, it can make a sizable difference. Does that affect the farmer negatively? Does that cause any skewing of the economy, or does that add value in the economy? Because I know some people will argue that.
I can understand where some of our critics are coming from. But if it is that you really think about it, what this does is add tremendous value to the culture of accepting go local. Because if it is that you are already seeing at your own household level the benefit of growing produce in your home, then you are more amenable to what is produced locally. And the demand for what is produced locally can actually rise. The increase in conversations focused on improved local agriculture can actually happen from an intervention like this.
All right. So there are many positives in this. It can make a difference to the individual. It can make a difference to the family. It can make a difference to the household. I suppose if you grow plenty, it can make a difference to your neighbors or other family, etc. Because, I mean, sometimes you wouldn't think about selling, you just give it away.
Yes.
You know, so that adds value there, and of course it adds value to the economy as well. Now let us talk about this in terms of the big picture. I'm going to ask you the question so you can think about it. But we're coming up to the 3/4 mark for the hour, and we're going to have to take a break. But the question is this. The 85% of the food for the entire Caribbean region is imported, right? Now this is scandalous, especially because growing food is possible in all of these Caribbean islands, and certainly in Trinidad and Tobago. So there's absolutely no reason in logic why you should be importing 85% of your food. The second thing is that tourism is the largest industry for 90% of the islands in the Caribbean and countries in the Caribbean. This is not so for Trinidad and Tobago, and it is not so for Guyana, but it is true for everybody else from Jamaica all the way down to Grenada as you come down the chain of islands. So the question I'm asking you is that how could we continue for decades, nearly 100 years, to have ourselves in a situation where we are so dependent on the rest of the world for food, when we could be producing our own food? And secondly, what sense does tourism make if you are not producing the food that the tourists come here and eat? If you have to import food to feed the tourists, what is the point of the tourist dollar? So that is the question, and we take a break now so Zelina can deal with the sponsors.
Thank you, Dr.
Zelisa, sorry.
Our program coming to us with the kind
Zelisa,
compliments of Charon's Bookstores, Jocks Engineering Works Limited, Lifetime Solutions Limited, and Valpark Chinese. So let's go to these important messages. When we return, it's Freedom Monday. When we return, stay with us.
Sorry.
Looking for the best in educational supplies? Then come on down to Charon's Bookstore, the trusted name in everything back to school, from uniforms, textbooks, school accessories, stationery, and much more. Our dedicated team is committed in providing the highest quality in customer service. Visit us at number 53 Eastern Main Road, Tunapuna, Trin City Mall, Trin City, number 24 Eastern Main Road, San Juan, and number 10 Diego Martin, 4 Roads, Diego Martin. Call us at 235-5811.
Are you ready to own your own home? But worried about time, money, and construction? We handle it all. With Docs, you can sleep in your dream. Make a down payment of $100K or $150K and we'll build a 2 or 3 bedroom home on your unused land. A home is an investment into your future, so let's help you invest wise, invest well. Payment plans available. We're only a call away.
Valpark Chinese Restaurant. Experience the flavors of authentic Chinese cuisine for a romantic night out or a family dinner. Our newly renovated cozy atmosphere and professional friendly service makes dining with us an unforgettable experience. We have a well-equipped conference room that caters for meetings and corporate events for up to 50 persons. Safe and secure parking. Valpark Chinese Restaurant. Open every day including Sundays and holidays. Book your table today. Give us a call 645-5474 662-4540.
Every word, every line, every paragraph depicts a real moment in someone's life. A father, a sister, a mother, a brother. We at Newsday are dedicated to you, the people, and through independent, unwavering journalism, strive to always bring your stories to life. Because your stories are more than just words. Newsday, independent and credible.
Super quality supermarket. Best quality and great prices. Get your fresh fruits, vegetables and meats. It's a one-stop shop for the most affordable groceries, baby items, kitchen supplies, bathroom accessories, car care supplies, pet food, toys and lots more, all at Super Quality Supermarket. Wide aisles, fully air-conditioned and secured parking. 3 locations nationwide: Couva Car Park, Couva, 98 Endeavour Road, Chagonas, and 47 Tissue Drive, Trincity. Super Quality Supermarket.
Welcome back to Freedom Monday, right here on Conversations with Zelisa, with Dr. Bo Tiwari, coming to us with the kind compliments of Children's Bookstores, Docs Engineering Works Limited, Lifetime Solutions Limited, and Valpark Chinese Restaurant. Dr. Tiwari, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Lisa. Thank you for staying with us. We're coming to the end of our conversation, but a very important part. Why don't we produce the food that we need to be more self-sufficient? And why don't we link some of our production to the tourist industry, which is so big in this part of the world, in order to get more out of every dollar spent out of by the tourists? So, Dr. Gokul.
Doctor, welcome back.
Yeah, hi.
Doc, welcome back. No audio.
We're missing the audio, Gisha. Hisham? Oh, God.
Is that better there?
Right. Thanks, yeah.
So just before we went on the break, we touched on the fact that 85% of the food that is coming into the region is imported, and that our service-based economies in the region, which account for about 90% of those economies, are service-based and tourism-based. So I would say, from a macroeconomic point of view, it is an untenable situation that puts the region at a food insecure position for several reasons.
Yes.
Access, for availability. We are not growing it locally, so it means that we are at the whims and fancies of logistics, of pricing, of availability in the global market, etc. And these factors became very clear during the COVID period and the period ensuing the Ukraine-Russia debacle, where we had shortages of potatoes, shortages of grain, etc. The impact of it is that prices went up. I would say that for the region, it augurs well for us to have a collective conversation on food security for the region. And this is some of the original thoughts that were associated with production and region when CARICOM was formed initially. So that from that point of view, it is important for us to rebuild those regional conversations, whether in the domain of CARICOM or CSME, to be able to ensure that as a region we do not become marginalized globally. There is, of course, merit in the discussion of pivoting our service industries to be more local and, of course, marketing the locality of tourism, whether that is the blue foods, the dashies, the breadfruit. There is, of course, merit in doing that, but that requires, as with anything else, champions regionally and appropriate incentive structure.
You know, in 1993, I did a consultancy for Sailor funded by the IDB. And it had to do with an assessment of tourism. And I focused on 4 countries, Costa Rica and Nicaragua, Barbados and the Bahamas, and of course Trinidad and Tobago. And I found out in that, to make a long story short, that Barbados was getting 20 cents of every tourism dollar spent, that Bahamas was getting less than 10 cents out of every tourism dollar spent, but that Costa Rica was getting 62 cents. And it had to do with the way they structured their tourism, of course, and the inputs into tourism. So that tourism doesn't have to be a losing game of spending money. It can make money. And I made the case for the entire Caribbean, all the countries that were washed by the Caribbean Sea, whose shores were washed by the country, to establish a sustainable tourism zone. This was accepted by all the tourism ministers at a meeting in Santo Domingo, and accepted by all the heads of government at a meeting in Cuba in 1993 and 1994. And the ACS only declared the region a sustainable tourism zone, I think in something like 2019 or something like that, when it was already too late. The horse had already bolted out of the stable. So, I mean, vision is one thing, implementation is another, and consciousness and deliberate consciousness is another thing entirely. And the Caribbean really suffers from, in my estimation, too much talk and too little action. I don't know if anything will come out of these attempts now to have what you call them, cargo vessels between Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana and Barbados, and then another private sector initiative to connect the rest of the islands. But I mean, I'll be quite frank with you, Rebecca, and I don't want to be I don't want to be sacrilegious in the way I talk about it, but I think, you know, in the Caribbean, we're really playing the fool with economic sustainability if you cannot even get the business of food production right. I mean, what is the sense of talking with the other things? How are you going to get to AI? You know, how are you going to get to the integration with the global economy and technology? You can't organize yourself to produce enough food. You know, the United States produces enough food for itself, or most of the food for itself, and it exports to God knows how many other countries. It's a major production center for food. Go ahead.
And it is that lag, that is going to cause the region to become increasingly marginalized in the global space, and that does not augur well for us.
Tell me one final thing. Your organization serving all of these people, millions of plants, thousands of people, households, how is your organization funded? Because you couldn't do that just like that.
So we are funded on sponsorships and the well-wishers of organizations who have seen the vision and have invited us to partner with them in their various host communities. So we are very NGO in its in our orientation, and we look forward to working with partners who are willing, and even as long as you want to focus on your host community, we are happy to partner with you.
Okay, so basically this is based on private funding, not government funding.
No,
So
no
this is
government
a
funding.
private sector funded NGO that is driven on the driven by the focus on food security and food self-sustainability for households and families, and is expanding and developing now not only food but fruits
Yes.
throughout the country, and is environmentally conscious. I'll give you the last word. You have 30 seconds.
Just to encourage your audience to green, even plant something, it will benefit your household.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Gokul, Bazalon, Rebecca. It has been a pleasure talking to you. This is such good work by the Shore Foundation. We ask people to get to find out what that is about and to be part of the activities. They have invited me from time to time. The last time I think I was in Cuba. I have gone and been part of the distribution process, and it really is very uplifting to see people come and receive those plants and tell you that they are going to go home and plant these plants. It really, really makes a difference. Zelisa, I'm sorry for mispronouncing your name before. Over to you now as we close.
Thank you, Doctor, and of course thank you as well, Dr. Tiwari. Freedom Mondays right here on Conversations with Zelisa. Special thanks to Terrence Bookstores, Doc's Engineering Works Limited, Lifetime Solutions, and Balthak Chinese Restaurant. So it's time to visit Balthak Chinese Restaurant. This is where we say thank you kindly for choosing us. We do have a repeat at 3 o'clock. Tell your friends, tell your family members, like and share it. It's great information. Here's reminding you that with God, all things are possible. Have yourselves a safe, a beautiful, awesome day today. And of course, I am Zelisa with the Thanks for choosing us.